What's up guys, Barry here with a showdown tutorial video. This is, I would say, intermediate deck building and strategy. This is a part 2. Like, if you haven't seen the first part of this video where I go through the win rate tracker, the meta tracker, which is where we get all the data from for showdown. So data about all the games that have been played and win rates of specific players and specific decks and classes, performance over time. Go and watch that video first, because that's where we get the initial information that we need to take through to deck building. Like, you want to have an understanding of the meta, which decks play well, which classes are good, which players are using which classes, what decks the top players are using, and then we learn from that when we come to approach deck building. Now, you will get information as well from experience. This is probably the most useful information that you get about the game, is just from playing it. And when you initially play it, of course, you're going to run through the tutorial, which is fine, and then you're going to run through playing against the AI. That's great. And then we're going to want to play against real players, because real players is where we really understand the game. And you can use the pre-built decks. They're good to get an understanding of cards and how they work, and these will take you through each of the different classes. So we've got a basic deck, Cheetah Protector, fine. We've got this Gambler Inventor deck, which is intermediate, and then the Expert deck, which is Rebel Bureaucrat. But these pre-built decks, they have all the classes and pretty much all the cards from them, and you can use these to get an understanding of what the cards do, which cards feel good, which cards you like, which cards you don't, which classes you like, and just get some experience using these. You can also use the featured deck here, which is at the moment Cheetah Bureaucrat, but experience is where you will cut your teeth and understand the cards and which cards you like, and then you take that through to deck building. So if you've played some games with these basic decks, then you're going to want to start to build your own deck. So you take whatever you've learned from that. You take whatever you can learn from the win rate tracker. Go to the win rate tracker, look at the metas, look at what the top players are using, look at the decks they're using, look at the decks that are performing well, and then come with some ideas about the kind of deck you want to use. So when we do that, we come to the deck builder, obviously, and I will just run you through my thought process when I'm building a deck. So if I've played a few games, got familiar with some of these, and I've got to really enjoy playing with the Inventor class, play this Gambler Inventor. The Inventor card's really powerful, and I also like the Rebel class maybe. And if I think about what I've seen in the win rate tracker, where I've seen that Rebel Inventor is a strong deck with a good win rate, and a lot of the top players are using that deck, including our #1 player at the moment. Now they're using a Rebel Inventor deck. So I think, okay, I want a piece of that. I want to learn and emulate from them the best players in the game who are winning at the game, and I want to do that. That is one approach. Or you can play anti-meta, which is where you're going to look at what the top players are doing and find a deck to counter it. But for a beginner, I would just go with what the top players are doing, because they're doing it for a reason, and you can learn from that. And then once you get a good handle on how this all works, then you try to play against them. So we might think, okay, Rebel Inventor, that's the deck I want to build. I'm going to come here, let's select Rebel, let's select Inventor, and then I'm just going to go through all the cards that I think are useful. So we're going to build everything first, and then we're going to trim. So card cam, great, can have 2 of those, gives you information about the cards of your opponent. Compression, same. Blow, I like that because we can cycle cards, get ourselves out of trouble. Noise filtering, good for unlocking cards, getting rid of pairs. Read, again, gives us information, great, we like that. Atomic Shift, super powerful, we like that because -1 or +1 to your lower pocket card can help get you a pair or a higher pair. And then we come to some of the really fun cards with Inventor. Chain Reaction gives you 3 random pre-flop cards when using a combo. So combo means you use it after you use another card, so use it as a combo card. Fading Echo, that's good, we like that. Then we're going to look at all the pre-flop cards. We've got some draw engines here, Secret Stash as standard. And then we have Wash Ashore, take a couple of those because that gives us points. It gives us a card on the river. And then we've got All In, okay, played with that a bit, don't really love it, doesn't do that much good because it's a +4, get a random card, might help you, might not. Then we come to the flop. What have we got on the flop? We've got a lot of good flop cards here. I might think, okay, Magnetize, that can be good. Symbiosis, put a card, copy of a card as the next card, that can be useful. Unexpected Draw, that's a draw, and Unexpected Result is a draw engine. You can draw an action card if you don't have a pair. That's important. And we're going to think about synergies with other cards. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Eye for an eye, good, it's annoying. You brick cards, brick one of your cards, one of your opponents. Then we've got Game Stop. You might think about not bringing that because it's a +7. Plays better with sort of Rebel Protector. Good with the Silver Bullet, but I might think about not bringing that. High Five, I think, okay, yeah, good. Give myself a pair of fives. Hostile Territory. This is great for the metas because we have, cards that are universal cards. You can get rid of them. I'll take a couple of those. Salvage Goods, really powerful. You can get to replace any of your cards with flop cards, do damage, get yourself into a good position on the flop. Great. And we've got Silver Bullet, really powerful. Choose one action card and get rid of 2 of your opponent's action cards. Great. Then we come to the river. What do we want to do on the river? Countdown. This gets me out of a lot of sticky situations when I use it. 9, 10 can give you a straight, can give you pairs, whatever. Really useful. Might take one of those. Then we think about this one, Eureka. One of the most fun cards in the deck. If you've played 6 or more action cards, then you get 3 river action cards. That's not inclusive. So you have to have played 6 cards before it, and that's where the draw engines become important. Cards that can make you draw. Now, Fibonacci, okay, that's cool. That's good to play against sort of people that are playing maybe protector decks, something like that, where they're going for face cards, high cards. High hand bonus, again, a draw engine when used in combo. So you get a random river action card. It's a +5, so it's expensive. Can make the pots huge, but if you're in a strong position, that is going to be useful. Jailbreak, as standard, take a couple of those. Surge, really powerful, can mess your opponent up, give you a better hand. We missed a few of the universal cards. We're going to come back to this. Chip dumping, that's useful. That helps draw cards based on what your opponent has. So if they have more cards than you, you can draw. So your equal brick, take one of those. That can be great to brick a card that we don't like. Hero Call, I don't like it. Makes pots crazy. You lose all your action cards. It's good in some situations, but for me, gaining the 20 chips, it rarely happens. Now we want draw engines, right? So we were thinking about maybe mulligan if we have sort of cards that are not useful. We can cycle our pocket cards and also action cards. If you want to get into position where you're drawing cards, if you want to hit that Eureka, take a couple of those to make sure that we get the cards we need. Revolution, if you're playing against someone like Protector, they've got a lot of face cards, they use Fantasyland, Blackjack, cards like that. This can be very useful because you can brick all your opponent's cards and can kill a hand dead. And then Wasteland, might not want to take that. I don't like it so much from what I've seen playing the Rebel class. Now, obviously we've got way too many cards and we need to think about a few things. Okay, so now we can see the cards, see how they all look together. And we've got to think now about synergies between the cards. Which cards are going to work well, which cards are going to block each other, which cards are going to get in the way. What do we have too many of? And think about whether we need more cards or less cards. Some decks play better with 30 cards. Some decks play better short with sort of 25, 26, 27 cards. You have to always think about fatigue. If you run out of cards, you're going to be giving your opponent chips for every card that you can't draw. But with something like this, with a deck that's very much built for drawing cards and hitting Eureka, hitting things like Chain Reaction, you probably want fewer cards than more because you need to be hitting the cards that you need to do damage. So we're going to come back to it. I'm going to think, okay, brick, yeah, useful, but do we need 2 card cams really? They're going to get in the way sometimes. Gives you another universal card that makes you susceptible to things like Hostile Territory, where you can lose your universal cards. Do we really need 2 of those? Gives information, it's great, but maybe we don't need to take 2. Chip dumping, probably keep that. Do we need 2 compressions really? Sometimes they're great, but maybe just 1 is enough. Low blow, think about actually the times that I've used this, it gives information about the card I have and doesn't always help me. Not always useful because you have to cycle cards higher. So you need low cards, and then if you don't hit, you've given information, you might actually have made yourself in a worse situation. So I might avoid that. I'm going to keep mulligan. Noise filtering, probably keep. Do we need 2 reads? I mean, read is great. It shows you the action cards that your opponent can use on that street, but do we really need 2? Let me think about Revolution. Okay, yeah. If we're playing against certain decks, but a lot of the time we're not actually coming against these protected decks, and maybe we don't want to take it, and because it's a +6 and it gets rid of one of your cards, maybe we avoid that for now because we've got other cards that can counter it. Then we come here, we think about, okay, Atomic Shift, yeah, great, we need that. That's a really strong card. Chain Reaction, essential. We need to draw those 3 action cards, and it's really powerful pre-flop. Fading Echo, I think about when I actually use this, it gives information to your hand. They know you don't have a pair. It's a +7, so it's expensive. Can be a little bit annoying when you don't hit. So I might actually avoid that. Might leave that there. Got the draw engines there, fine. Eye for an Eye, do we really need that? Do we really need 2? Eye for an Eye plays better when you can lock your cards, or we know that we can cycle them, so maybe we don't actually bring 2 of those. And then High Five as well. It's actually going to be useful here. It plays well with sort of Rebel Protector. Gives you a pair, fine, but it's also a +5, so maybe avoid that. Do we need 2 hostile territories? Probably not. Magnetize. Think about how we've used that experience in the game and when it was actually useful or not. And it's good because it gives sort of a straight draw, but it's not always gonna help you. So I might sacrifice that. You have to make some sacrifices with these. Salvage goods is good. Do we really need 2? Might get in the way of each other. It might be more useful for like a Rebel Protector deck. Get rid of that. Silver Bullet, do we really need this? Now we think about, we're trying to draw cards and use cards. If we use Silver Bullet, we're actually getting rid of cards. So it could be controversial, but as this is one of the most powerful cards in the game, maybe we actually don't need it for our deck. Get rid of it. Now we've got 25 cards, Symbiosis, Unexpected Result. I think we keep those. We keep the draw cards from the river, high hand bonus, and we're sort of gearing this deck towards the synergies between the cards. Chain Reaction into Eureka, the high hand bonus, drawing cards helping us. We do good damage with our universal cards. Pre-flop, we play well to draw cards. We've got a lot of drawing engines there. We don't do too much on the flop, so we might come back to the flop and think, okay, maybe we do need a little bit more control on the flop. We do a lot of good stuff on the river. This feels like a pretty rounded deck, but we won't know until we test it. And that's where testing comes into it, trial and error. So we've built this deck, great. I'm gonna give it a name, my deck, yeah. And then we're just gonna play with it. And the best way to play with it is against people. Don't run it against the AI. Do some free games, or some cheap games at least, with people, and just test it out. See how it feels. Play it for free, do some games, and just play with it and see how the deck performs. See which situations you get yourself into where the cards helped you. Are there any situations where the cards actually got in the way, where they were a hindrance? Is there a card that you wish you had that you could have put in the deck but you didn't, that might have helped you? That's where the fine tuning comes in. So you just build a deck, you build it based on the knowledge that you've acquired from playing the demo decks, playing the pre-built decks, looking at the win rate tracker, seeing how your opponents play, put that all into it, build a deck, experiment with it, see if you can win with it, and then fine tune it. Like, it won't be perfect at first, but you will get it. And then once you get comfortable, then we might want to build more decks. It's good to have a variety of decks. I have a bunch of decks that I've built over time. These have been built really over a while. Like, it's good to have, you know, a deck really for every situation. So I've got most of the sort of combos of class that, you know, I care to play with and that I think about. I've built a deck for them, and I will go back to them. I will see where there's opportunities in the meta maybe to, you know, bring some of these back. And I will just be always testing, making new decks. Just build decks, experiment, test. That's how you get good. There's no secret sauce to this. There's no shortcuts to building a successful deck. You just have to get the knowledge that you need from playing the game, using the data, and then putting it into practice. And it takes time. You will fail a lot. You will lose a lot of games, especially with new decks. People will exploit you, but over time, it will get better, it will get easier, and you'll find yourself building decks that are built to last. So some of these decks I've built, I've kept them for a long time. They only need little tweaks here and there for things like when seasonal rotations happen, when cards get updated, or when new metas emerge, or I might want to tweak some things. But in general, these are there and I can turn to them anytime, and pretty much any of them can be competitive. So that is it. That is my introduction to deck building. If you have any questions about how to approach this, other things to do, then come and ask us in the Discord. Find me on X, ask questions, always happy to help. We've got a whole channel there for deck building and strategy, and we're happy to have conversations about the best ways to approach this. People share their decks, people share their deck lists. You can also get inspiration from the website. We have deck lists put up there. There's a link in the Discord and official links to deck lists from people that have won tournaments, and you can get some good insights there into how the top players are building their decks with that kind of useful info. So have a look at that, study up, get good, practice, make your own luck. That's the best way that I can put it. And yeah, if you have any questions, come and ask. But that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Much love. Bye.